It's cracking everybody. You play upon the host of the most, your cousin Sir Winnie. I appreciate you all for tuning in. This is a brand new episode of the podcast that we have going on. So this is the inaugural episode of Let's Talk About It. I have the wonderful, the multifaceted Jaz here
It's crack-a-lackin'.
Sorceress. What is it called again?
It's Sorceress Potions.
Sorceress Potions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so kind of just give the folks a quick breakdown of who you are, what you got going on, and then we can go into like our meetup.
Okay.
Like how we know each other.
All right. Well, my name is Jasmine. I also go by Jaz or Jazzy, whatever you want to call me. And I run a small business of bewitched spelled products like this candle and wax melt here. They're all natural, so that means I use all natural essential oils and soy wax, to stay away from the carcinogenic things.
No bullshit.
Yeah, none of that bad crap. And I'm also a writer, and I do, that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, it's kind of hard explaining who you are to people when you're just talking to a camera.
Yeah.
But our relationship kind of picked up and built from me knowing your partner, Kyle.
Yep.
He is a guy, like, I've shot videos with him and just helped him on the side with some of the videos that we've done with Stone. You guys know who that is. But then, like, meeting you and talking to you, when we first met, you were explaining to me about the book that you have written, mm-hmm. and you and my wife talked about a couple of things, like with your upbringing, right?
Yeah.
My wife has a storied upbringing that she'll eventually be able to talk about one day. So what I wanted to do is, like, be able to explain to them and to you that the podcast is super vulnerable, a place to be, a safe place to get off your chest what you need to, and be able to big yourself up, you know what I'm saying, like give yourself flowers, and that's what we're doing. That's why I want you to explain your potions here when we move forward and stuff like that. But I want to get into how you got into understanding rocks and being bewitched is how I see, like how all that came to part. So I know that you've had I would say a detailed past, as have I.
Yeah.
Do you mind us, like, kind of tapping into, like, your upbringing here in Oregon and all that stuff before we get into what you got going on? Or
yeah, definitely.
So,
have you had Stone on the podcast before? I wanted to ask.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He and Q have both been on an episode. I think it's called The Stoner, The Joker, and The Golfer, or something like that.
That's awesome.
So you were how old when you would say you started to realize, like, the world around you, like your upbringing? How old would you say you were?
I would say that I was pretty aware at a really young age. Like, I feel like I've always had, like, a certain level of understanding, like, ever since I was 3 years old. My mom, because she had me when she was so young, she kind of talked to me like I was, like, one of her friends. So she would just say, like, whatever was on her mind, like I wasn't a 3-year-old. So I kind of always had, like, this weird understanding of what, like, life was, and I knew things that I probably shouldn't know, like, at a really young age.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was a really spiritual person. Everyone in my family is, like, very spiritual. So my mom was always, like, meditating and had, like, her incense burning and was talking about, the universe and, like, just all kinds of different concepts. And so I started collecting like crystals and rocks when I was like 3 years old, and then yeah, and I started like feeling like I had kind of this intuition when it came to like witchcraft and like the magical things that not everyone could see like in this world.
Okay, explain that, because when I've seen like two people like who are like really, what I would say they're really like Wiccans.
Yeah. So Wiccans and witchcraft, it's two different things. Wiccans is an actual like religion,
okay,
where you believe in different deities and different gods that kind of, where you have a kind of like paganism.
Oh, okay.
Which is also like a Norse religion.
Yeah.
And that's where you do your spells for those deities, for those gods. And witchcraft is just like your own thing.
Okay.
Like you go based off of your own instincts.
Okay. Yeah. So the one of my homegirls, Heather, shout out to you, Heather. She was telling me how she doesn't really, like, she's spiritual, but like she understands that like the earth is where we come from, where we go back to, like that's how we recycle the earth and like how everything works. So she was saying that she worships the earth, so like flowers and like the rain and all that stuff. Is that more like how, like when you say like you see like spiritualism, like spirits or things that are not the normal person might see, is that kind of like the same thing, or
yeah, I feel like when I say like I see kind of things differently, just like my people don't really have the, okay.
Break it down. Like be as open about this shit as possible. Tell people how they are in arts, because I'm one of them.
When I was a kid, I didn't like to like kill things like bugs. I like everything, like a level of empathy I didn't see a lot of people have, and I didn't really understand why. And I just had this like so hard to explain. Like I wanted to know more about like the universe, like why we're here, like there's more than just this physical. Yeah. And a lot of kids, like, they're like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
It's like, dude, I'm trying to color. You ruining the vibe, bro. We're eating sand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you definitely felt like you were always a little bit more, like, spiritually elevated, mentally elevated than your counterparts.
Yeah, I think I was just kind of a weirdo. Because kids are just like, what are you talking about? But I think a lot of that has to do with my mom, too. Because my mom, like I said, she was always talking about things that, you know, a normal 5-year-old shouldn't be hearing. Yeah. And so I was just introduced to all that. And so I think a lot of it has to do with that, too. So
is that why you create potions? Is this what your candles and so on, it's like your way of creating potions? Yeah, because I was doing this just for me. To like relax or what?
Just like based off instinct, like if I felt like I needed to protect someone I love, or I needed to bring more positive energy into my life, like I was doing like different spells or rituals based off of my own instinct, like not looking up in a book or anything.
Oh shit.
And so
that's crazy. So all this came from you just like truly experimenting?
Yeah. Based off of just my knowledge and like what has worked for me, like personally. Like this is my personal candle. Like I made this just to burn at home.
Explain this candle to the people that room.
So this is my energy candle, and when people usually hear that, they think it's like energy, like, oh, I'm gonna get like energized. Like no, it's not like that. It's more so like to cleanse the energy in you and around you, to bring more. All right, you were asking me about if I could go back in time, and
yeah. So just like the certain questions that we have as friends to grow on and stuff like that, and to learn about each other with. So we have those type of questions. I have those type of questions I like to ask people.
I love questions. See, I asked Kyle's parents the other day and my great grandma. And they think I'm so weird for this, but because they were born in like the 40s, so they lived a long life. I'm like, so what did you think back when you were like 20 would exist by now? Like in 2020, what did you think would exist by now that doesn't, or that does? Yeah. And they were like, I don't know, I never thought about it. I'm like, how do you not think about shit like that? Like I'm like, in 2080, I think they're gonna have some kind of cure to make people live a lot longer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think like when we're at the end of our lives, they're gonna have something like that.
Yeah.
To where they're like, we 100%. Might be able to give you guys 10 more years, 20 more years. I'm like, I'm taking that pill.
Yeah. There's also that theory. I don't know if you've ever heard of this theory that God, what is the theory called? But it's basically a theory that you never actually die. That once you get to a certain point in your life, or where you do die, you just switch to a different dimension and you just continue living, not knowing that you died in your past dimension.
Life? Oh, okay.
And so that, but when people die in this dimension, they died here, but then their consciousness just goes to a different dimension where they exist.
That's actually pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think that's an interesting...
Bartender Kyle with the water drop off.
I think that's an interesting theory, though, because sometimes I'll be sitting in the car and there'll be like a close call or something. I'm like, I wonder if I just died right then and I'm just like in the new dimension now. Like alive.
Just alive, living it up. No, yeah, but it's like, that's like a question like I've always had as well. It's like, because of, you know, the Egyptian thought of reincarnation in the other life, it's like that's why they get buried with all their shit. So I've always had that thought as well.
But to answer your question, I think who I would want to see, especially like way back in the day, would probably be either the Cranberries, because the singer that passed away back in like 2019, and I think I used to love them when I was a little kid, or either that, gosh, who else, or Bjork. Bjork, she's an old alternative singer back from the 90s.
I'm gonna have like a shot of Bjork right here, and then you know what I'm saying, when we come back and we all get, I'll know who Bjork is now. Shout out to you though, shorty. No, I think it's like, if we could, it's like playing 21 Questions was like the dopest shit in the world.
Oh, literally,
like,
I love
learn
like
so much about
literally.
somebody so fast, and I do the same thing whenever I talk to people who are a little bit of age and they're more lively. I ask that same question. It's like,
I love learning.
because like right now, so like I'm gonna ask you, like, what you said that you think they'll have like a cure for living longer.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think when you were in like 2000? What did you think would be in 2020?
I thought that by now we, honestly, part of me believed that like my future self would time travel and like come and see me by now and be like, yo, what's up? But that hasn't happened yet, so...
Motherfucker ain't showed up yet.
So when I was a kid, I was always like looking around for like someone who looked like me but older. Being like, okay, is like my time traveling self back yet? Like, what's going on?
See, I've always thought that shit is real too, bro. Like, no bullshit. I really have thought that like we can go back in time, or like not back in time, but I think we can go like into the future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like.
You don't think we can go? I bet you we can go back in time.
I just don't know. I think the aspect or the thought of going in the future and then coming back to the present is more like tangible than being able to go back into the past, because anything we do in the past is going to change the future. Like if we walk.
Well, that's why I think the Mandela effect exists. Do you know what the Mandela effect is?
Yeah, where like you like
everyone's noticing that things are changing.
Yeah.
I think that there's someone going back in time and like fucking shit up just enough that like certain things are changing. Like the Fruit of the Loom.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, so the
feel you on
Fruit
this.
of the Loom logo.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on, you seen it?
I have not. Bring it up.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll bring it up on the on the video too, so we'll show you guys what we're talking about. Because I know the one I know is the Bernstein Bears. I know that one for sure, and I'm like, I remember it being, I think it was STIE.
All right, which one is the correct logo?
Out of those two?
Yep.
Oh, it's that one.
It's that one?
Yeah, on the
okay.
Right.
See, I remember there being a cornucopia my whole life.
Really? The little thing on the back?
Because my mom would buy us clothes from Walmart, and I remember looking at it and being like, what is that? And my mom having to explain to me what a cornucopia was. And it never had a cornucopia. Ever. Which really fucks me up, because I'm like, there's no way.
There has to be somebody with a fucking Fruit of the Loom shirt from like 1997 that they have not done anything with that has it.
No. Like, they've...
Bro, we should go thrift store shopping.
That's what I'm saying.
And just figure this shit out, because like, that's crazy to me.
Which one's the real one?
He never had a tail. No, he did have a tail. He's a monkey. Monkeys have tails.
Yeah, but he never had a tail.
No way. That was Curious George, by the way. That's
Curious
not real.
George. See, I could go for days looking at stuff like that where I'm like, there's no fucking way.
So do you believe in aliens?
Of course, my name's chilling with the aliens. I believe in aliens. I believe that people with O negative blood have alien DNA. I have O negative blood. I believe they have alien DNA.
I have O negative blood. My blood
Oh,
can
that's
be used
crazy!
for anybody.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, my blood, but I'm also Egyptian. I think Egyptians are the closest thing to aliens we've had.
Exactly.
So.
And that's because. So here's the thing.
Well,
about
I don't know if I'm
blood.
Egyptian. Sorry, we're getting a 23andMe on your boy, and I'll have a whole little shit about that. So I'll be able to tell you guys what I is. But from what I was told, I'm Egyptian. So.
But the crazy thing about O negative blood is they can track back every single blood type to like where it originated. They cannot find where O negative blood came from.
No.
And we're the only blood type that we can give our blood to everybody, but no one can give their blood to us. Plus, when like if I became pregnant and the baby was not O negative blood, my body would kill it. Like it's like a different species.
Damn.
Like you have to get a shot to if you have O negative blood and the baby doesn't, you have to get a shot to keep your body from rejecting the pregnancy.
That is.
That's why I'm like that's alien shit right there.
That is an alien, dude. But I also think that, and this is conversations my highest has with my wife all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that aliens are like. Excuse me, what they're projected to be on television. Like they're not little small green things or stuff like that. I think one of two things: either there are aliens, or there were actual gods walking among us. Because the stories that were told back in the day are very real. You can still find like Colossus, like the leg or the gap of Colossus.
The Anunnaki.
Yeah, like you can find all those things, and then when you look at like the pyramids of Giza, like we can't replicate that right now with modern day technology.
Yeah.
But you mean to tell me little bitty Egyptian people built that? No, there was like, and somebody had broke down the time because they would have had to break each rock perfectly. And work 24 hours a day, like every single day. Everybody has to be working and making a whole fucking line of this shit.
Yeah.
It would have taken them like over 300 years to do something like that.
Yeah.
And they did it in like, I think 23 years.
Yeah. It's that and like Stonehenge. They would not have been able to do that shit.
Yeah, you can't replicate that right now.
1,000-pound rocks
How'd you get
on
the big
top
one
of
on
each
top?
other. Literally.
How?
It doesn't make any sense.
Explain it to me. How, bro? Like, so this is like the things that I think about when I'm high playing video games, and I pause it and I look over at my wife and I'm like, so aliens and shit, and she's like down for it. So we have
I
this
love that.
Yeah, so like I think aliens are real. I think that they actually post up on us, they come out here and check on us.
More of clarity and just like level-headedness. So that way, like if you want to meditate, this is the candle you want to
burn this candle while you're doing so.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of the information said right here is like, and that's, she brought this out and then she was like, we can burn this if you want. And I read it and I was like, oh no, we burning this, bro. I need some clarity out here while we talking, because it's for me, I'm going to get into some things that here soon that we've dealt with in the, I guess, the main public eye, and I know I've dealt with things like abortion and the option of abortion, and to now know that is something that we won't be able to talk about or have a right to controlling their own is very sickening to me. So we'll be able to talk about that moving on, but right now, so like what is in this candle?
Ooh, just went out. Nope, it's still going.
Is it? Yeah, you can look at it. See it.
No, I think it might be. So much wind out here.
It's crazy. Yeah, this is our first outside episode too, so shout out to us trying to be out in nature. And I wanted to because, you know, I'm with my sister right now. I'm out here with the sorcerer herself.
It's good vibes.
So explain like what's in this one, because like I don't know if you guys can see like a quick breakdown of it because it's all waxy now too. But there's like crystals in there. There's like actual.
There's rosemary,
like
garden
tree
sage that I grow out of my garden, and the rosemary is what I grow out of my garden as well. And there's Palo Santo oil and patchouli oil and sage oil as well.
How'd you understand the? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine.
How'd you understand? And it's probably just like over time with your mom and everybody, and just like going to stores and stuff. Which oils and scents and stuff to put together in order to, was it really just like trial and error, like this doesn't smell right, doesn't feel right for the moment, or?
For the candles, definitely. I wanted oils and herbs to go into it that would make sense.
Okay.
Like Palo Santo is a very like clarifying herb. Like you burn it when you're trying to cleanse it, not cleanse the energy, but bring more spiritual energy like in your home.
Okay.
So it kind of does opposite that sage does. Sage is like clearing all that negative, while Palo Santo is bringing like the positive.
Oh, so that's a great balance with each other. It's like one is ridding as the other one is inviting.
Yeah.
That's actually so smooth to think about, bro.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like I've never really, like I've seen the girls who like are into like crystals or rocks. It's like, do you rock, girl? Like I love what you got going on. But I've never really taken the time to get into, like, my kid's mom got me sage for our new apartment. Like she like burned some sage and like some incense, and I'm like, what do I do? And it came with instructions, so it told me like to get myself in a good mental space first, then light it as I'm like praying, or like not like praying, but saying like a chant that I want the house to have, in a sense. So I was like trying to figure out if I was doing it right or wrong, or is there the right way to do it. So for someone who's like kind of like me, brand new, eyes wide open, is there a correct way to go about finding your center, finding like who you are through energy sense, or like rock, like crystals and stuff like that? Is there ways to do that, like a right way or wrong way to do it?
I think that just doing whatever feels right to you, because you want to kind of steer clear from taking from other people's culture. Like I know a lot of people really do not want you to burn white sage, which is what you'll find at like most spiritual stores, is just bundles of white sage, and that's it's actually going extinct, and it's bad for the indigenous people who actually they're the ones that use that resource the most. It's like that's where it came from, and so that's why I always say, like, if you want to burn sage, you should always use garden sage, because there's different strains of it. But not to say that like you should like go and throw that shit away, because that's bad in general, because you're throwing something away that is a gift to you, because it was a gift. But it's hard to say, like, I don't know how to give advice to people who want to find like their kind of their spiritual ways, because everybody's different. Like some things that will like solidify with me is not gonna do the same for you. You know what I mean? Okay. Especially if you have a different cultural background, I think everybody should look into what like spiritual traditions like your cultural background has first, because that's gonna, I think, really sit with you better than just other people.
Going to other people's shit. That makes sense. So not even like a strong transition, but like a very unnecessary but necessary transition to the current times that we're in. Like how did you react when the Roe versus Wade was overturned? Because I know I woke up to it and I was just super frustrated. It was something that was said for a reason, and I kind of saw it in the works, like building up to it with the
They've been doing it for years. Like when I look back at like they show you your Facebook memories, literally like this time last year we were talking about like how they were trying to overthrow it. And then the year before that, same thing. Like they've been kind of like slowly ingraining in your mind like this is gonna happen.
Yeah, and I think once that like ball starts to roll, when like we get the information, it's already set in. Like the wheels are already going on their end. So we were just fucked from the beginning. So like, how did you? Of course, I can kind of guess how you felt, but I kind of elaborate how you felt with everything coming to it, with knowing for 3 years. Like how did that actually feel to know we don't have a choice either?
I kind of felt more numb than anything. Like there was nothing, like hopeless. Like there's nothing we can do, because like they had been ready to do this. It was gonna happen regardless. Like I don't think any amount of protesting or anything was gonna stop it. And so I kind of just felt hopeless, but I also didn't want it to like affect me so negatively that I couldn't get out of bed, because a lot of things will do that.
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of shit that I mean we probably both been through growing up can make you do that. For me it was like I think I was more angry instead of numb. I was angry because I could not. There's absolutely nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Like, to a husband and a father, like I'm a father to a daughter. I can't do anything, and I felt like there were too many women on the side of against than it was for or with than against the powers that be. So for me, I wasn't numb. I was pissed because I also have to, my wife has to walk around, and there's been things that have happened to too many women in my life that could have affected negatively.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of the statistics say it's like 1 in 5 women or 3 in 5 women have been sexually assaulted. A lot of them possibly could have babies from that, and now they have to have a rapist's baby, and it's a force, or you have to fly to a different state in order for it
Which
to happen.
a lot of marginalized communities aren't going to be able to do.
They don't have
the
the funds for it. Yeah, so it was just very difficult for me to sit back and, I would say, like, find an easy way to stomach, because there's no easy way to stomach it.
Because once you realize what it all means for so many different women, and not just women, people who have a uterus, it's going to be affecting so many people. Like, if this had happened back in 2016 when I was 16 years old and I had an abortion and I wouldn't have been able to get that abortion, my entire life would be completely fucked. I would be trapped with an abuser. I would be struggling, homeless, like with a baby on my hip.
Shit, because like there's also 75% of the ocean that has not been explored, and there's brand new species being like popped up from the ocean every day.
Yeah. I think giants existed at one point.
You think so?
Yeah, because I don't know if the photographs they show of the huge like skulls are real, but I think some of them are. And that would kind of make sense for some of the things that were made.
Exactly, like it's either that or like it's.
And that would make sense for like the Greek and Norse gods that say like the demigods that lived amongst us that were giants. Like that would all make sense.
All makes sense. It all like turns into fruition. I think it's just you have to do your research on it. So I can't really tell you guys what to do on it. But for me, I went to school for history, so like it's the shit.
I went to school for anthropology.
That's crazy. Yeah. The study of man. Yeah, I went to school for journalism and the study of sports history, and then I took a couple of history classes in there. But it's dope. So what are some things that you want to see come to fruition for your line? Because I know that you're here in the Saturday market in our local city, that you run the Saturday market there, or not run it, but you run your stand there. What are some things that you are looking forward to doing? Oh, and also she has product in a tattoo shop here.
Yeah, White Rabbit tattoo shop over down by the campus. It's a new shop. It's women ran, and it's pretty amazing. They have all kinds of stuff in their collection that they're selling from other local vendors.
Nice. That's super awesome. So what else do you see for this? Like, how far do you see this going? As you can see, I'm wearing gear right now. Yeah. So this is merch.
And I got the Honor Club merch on.
Shout out. But like, what do you see? Is it more merch? Is it more designs in this, or like where are we going?
To be honest, my whole thing is I don't want to become some crazy big like business that like kind of loses touch with itself because it's so big and it's just bringing in a bunch of money. My whole thing is I just make this product to help people, and I love seeing other people like enjoying it and it like doing things for them that I intended them to do. Like, and so that's why I love selling at the Saturday market, because seeing people come up and like, oh my god, like I need this, and buying it and being like overjoyed. That's what really like gives me purpose for this business. So like these are my newest product, and these are wax melts. And the reason why I made these is because people said that they loved the smell, but they didn't want to burn the candles because they were like so pretty, which is really nice. So that's why I made these, and so it's got a little quartz crystal and herbs in them. But this was the most recent one. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more future products. I got teas, fizzy bath soaks, and then the candles in these, and I feel really good with where it's at. And but we'll see if I come up with anything new to make. I'm just going based off of what I feel is like needs to be made.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, mostly I just want people to enjoy it, and I don't want it to I don't crave for the business to become a huge thing. I just want people to,
It makes sense.
love it.
Yeah, like if it's you don't want your potion to be like saturated.
Yeah.
So what you're doing right now with small batch things are definitely something that is going to be great.
Because everything's made to order. So if I get like during Christmas time, that was fucking tough. I got 50 plus orders in the month of December.
Jeez.
And that, I almost got so burnt out that I was like, I don't know if I could do this again.
It's like, yeah, this is not it. She's going to have workers this year, though, so don't worry about it.
We'll see what happens. But everything's made to order. So that's why I'm like, if I don't know if I could grow any more than what I've grown to the point where I'm getting 10 plus orders a day. I don't know if I could do that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, we'll see what happens.
So do 2 orders a week.
No, order as much as you want. Order as much as you want. All I'm saying is if it became a regular deal where I have I'm becoming I need to hire people, which would be kind of dope. Honestly, I'd be down to hire some people, but
she ain't gotta hire me because she knows all it is just we gonna come over here, just make some tea for me. We gonna listen to some music. I'll keep Rue away from me, and we gonna be good. That's it. That's all it takes.
Honestly, so I don't know. Whatever happens with this business happens. Most of my energy is going into trying to publish my book, though. That's where I'm trying to make money.
Here we go.
That's
I didn't want to force it out, but
the big money is I have a vision where I want the series, which involves aliens. By the way, the books are about aliens.
Nice.
But
yes, sir.
I have a vision for that, and that's where I want to see.
That's where the energy is.
The energy and the money to come from, and I don't even care about the money as much. I just want people to read it. I want people to read it and tell me what they think about it, and be like, I need this character to do this. I'm like, no, but thanks for telling me.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about kind of the last time we were here. I was super hyping up. I was like, we need to get you a Twitch. We need to get you this so you can read a couple passages and see what characters is gonna work.
Yeah.
And I think my wife told me that she received a copy.
Yeah, I added her to the Google Docs so she could read it.
Yeah.
So whenever she gets around to that, I know everybody's real busy, so I don't expect people to
She didn't let me read it, just so you know. She told me that I can't read it until you tell me I can read it.
You can read it.
I can read it.
Yes.
Zini, I'm gonna read that shit. But no, I want to be able to not give you input, but I want to be able to build that hype. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very good at that. I'm a great hype man. Y'all understand?
Hell yeah.
So, do you want to go into a little bit about why you wanted to create this book series and make it a series instead of just making it a book?
Yes, because the reason why I wanted to make it a series is because I love book series. Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, Twilight, all of those series, people love it because it's a series. It's not just one book that you read. You're like, oh, I like that book. But if you love a series, you're down for that series. And plus I couldn't fit everything that I have planned for this story into one book. It had to be at least 3.
Nice.
And I've been actually writing this book since I was 12 years old. So I've had the story, the characters, everything in my head since I was 12. Obviously it's advanced more since then. It's become more mature since then.
Okay.
So it's kind of I needed to just get it all out of my head because it's just been sitting in there.
So you already have one book?
Yeah, I already finished it. Right now I'm just kind of getting through the last editing touches, and then sending it out to agents, and gonna wait till get an agent. Hopefully I'll get one. If I don't and have to self-publish, that's fine. But
if we have to self-publish, just believe the tour and the press run is gonna be
the
crazy.
marketing's gonna be wild. I'm gonna have to really push it.
But it's gonna be crazy. But I think, and not leaning on your partner, but your partner is already dedicated to helping you as much as possible.
Yeah,
so,
I love him so much.
He's dope as hell.
He's my biggest supporter of everything.
The pictures that are going to be able to happen, the videos that are going to happen, it's not going to be on the GoPro. It's going to be on his nice camera next time, where we're actually going to be able to sit down, and as I've read a couple parts of the book, I can wear a suit and we can sit across from each other and have.
So what did you mean by this
so
line?
When you were, and I'm sipping like, so when you were sitting and talking about, I want to be able to do that too. So, now I think that with you at least expressing how much you enjoyed writing your book, it's kind of gotten me back into wanting to write my movie more, or like at least get like small scripts going again.
Get that creative juice flowing. I love the creativity. Like,
and again, it's like having these relationships I'm bouncing off of you. Like every day I'm here, like every time we hang out, it's like
get more motivated.
So what are you doing with your book again? Keep talking about your book. All right, for sure. Like
help hype each other up.
Yeah, that's really it.
16 years old, homeless,
getting beat. Yeah, just like
getting beat.
The worst type of example.
It would have, like, I wouldn't probably be here today, and that's why when people say like there's gonna be so many women dying because of this, like there's gonna be.
And I want people to understand, like, when we say this, bro, it's not just for the women who have the worst situation in the world happen to them. Their identity being stripped from them, like something like that, is very intrusive. So it's not just for those women, it's for women who can't have a baby, or for a baby that dies in the mom's stomach, and then
that's horrible.
Yeah, like that's a situation that has happened to my mother on multiple occasions. Like miscarriages, and then she can't like pass the baby because it's just in there, so they have to go in and surgically abort the baby, but it's already dead. So
I just saw a post the other day.
It's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm about to like start shaking.
Yeah,
It's pissing me off.
I just saw a post the other day of a woman who posts that she's currently pregnant and she's about 27 weeks along, and the doctor just told her a couple weeks ago that the baby does not have a brain. And so they said you can. They set up the appointment for her to come in and get the baby terminated, or the fetus terminated. And so they had the appointment already set up, and then the law overturned, and now she can't. She has to carry it full term, and it's.
Which is sad, and it's like it could cause so many diseases and kill the mom.
Yeah.
Like ultimately.
And just that heartbreak of having to carry that like baby who you were looking forward to having, and then knowing that you're gonna give birth and it's not gonna be like a viable life.
Yeah, there is no life at this current stage.
No.
So that's just very it's a difficult thing. So, I mean, again, I don't have a solution right now for people. So if you're looking here and hearing that I have this complaint, just understand like I don't have a solution. The only thing I could say is write letters, protest in front of your, in front of the city council, or, go and talk to people by showing your anger. Vote as much as you can. Understand your voting rights. Understand the people you are voting for in your city and state. Like, do research. Like, right now is the time. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so.
Woo! Get that.
Yeah, had to get all that out. So, yeah, for sure. Bring all this in now. Bring it in.
Just bring it in, let it pass.
Now it's going into times where you are around a bunch of your friends who are having babies.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
My daughter's going to be coming around more.
I know, I can't wait to meet your daughter.
Yeah,
seriously.
She's a little jackass, don't worry about it. Love you, Goose. I know I've talked to my buddy about it. What is a idealistic plan for a wedding for you?
Like what I want to see from the wedding, like the plan, or when I want the wedding.
Do you dream of? Because I've dreamt of my wedding ever since I was like 13 years old, bro. And I didn't get the wedding I wanted. I'm married. I'm happy, but
you still can though.
She already knows that.
Celebration.
No, she already knows that. Once we get our house, the backyard gets cleaned up all nice. I'm having the biggest party.
It's gonna be amazing.
Oh, it's gonna be lit. But I want all my friends to be married, because then I have married friend relationships.
Right.
And I don't have much in common with single niggas.
Yeah.
At all. We have nothing in common. So what would is your dream wedding more natural and dark? Because that's what I thought. I was I get to go to an all black wedding.
Yeah.
That shit's gonna be fired. But that's also me being very stereotypical, and I apologize.
No. I want it to be kind of traditional for Kyle's family's sake, because I know they wouldn't care if we didn't have a traditional wedding, but I do want, because he kind of in his head has envisioned a traditional wedding. But I do want it to be like in the woods, like in the forest. I want people to have the freedom to dress however they want. And so I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is the colors that you gotta wear. Yeah. Like for my bridesmaids, like, oh, you need to buy this dress.
Also, like everybody can have a different.
They could just wear whatever
dress comfortable. See, I think that shit's lit. Like that's a really smooth idea.
Yeah, and then I just want it to be a really relaxing, like, fun time. I don't want people to feel stressed out or feel like they have to be all proper or anything. I just want people to be
good time.
Yeah, just have a good time.
Because you guys are gonna like. That's how I think.
That's our lifestyle.
Yeah, that's their life. If you know them, you know them. These motherfuckers have murder mystery parties in their house. It's the greatest shit ever.
Oh, that was so fun.
It was so fun. All right, so to get back on some more open and vulnerable things, you kind of talked about like how you would have had to been homeless around 16.
Yeah.
Was 16 a hard time for you?
That was I would say the worst time of my life. Like the years 15 through 19 years old. Probably like right before I met Kyle was the worst time of my life. It was just like a snowball of things that happened. My mom has struggled with addiction my whole life, but I didn't really know until I was like 13. Okay. Like before I was born, she struggled really badly with addiction. She was homeless because she was adopted to a really abusive family and ran away from home. And so she was in the foster care system and then was, doing her own thing. But then she always told me when I was growing up that I saved her life. Like, she stopped using drugs. She, like, got her shit together. But once I turned 13, she got really bad into addiction again. And so that's when I started smoking weed because I was trying to like separate myself from the situation mentally, and trying to take care of my little brother who was like 3 at the time. Oh. And then, she disappeared when I was 15 because, child services was going to come and take us away. And so she just left.
Oh damn, I'm gonna get out.
She's like, I'm out of here. And then my aunt took my brother, and she didn't have room for me. And even though I had like a whole huge family who could have took me in, they didn't. And so I had to live with my boyfriend, who wasn't abusive at the time, but then once we became homeless, he became like extremely abusive. And then I was just working really hard trying to like get my feet on the ground. But then after me and him, finally he actually got arrested for domestic violence on our 2-year anniversary. Jeez.
Sorry, that's not funny.
No, it was really messed up. He had killed one of my cats. It was.
Don't fuck with cats, bro.
No, bro.
The fuck? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's like one of those things where I laugh because I get really uncomfortable thinking about it. Yeah. So I just like will laugh it off and like smile like when I'm uncomfortable with like thinking back to stuff like that. But then I got into another relationship and it was a really great relationship. I became a dancer, and so I was actually making enough money because I went from working 2 full-time jobs to being a dancer, and I was making enough money to support myself. And then that relationship I was in, he actually passed away like 7 months into our relationship. He was in a car accident. But so that was really hard, and then I got really heavy into drinking, and it was just a snowball of shit. Like trying to take care of my mom, who's like in and out of rehab, to being a dancer and having to deal with misogynistic men who are like just
trying to fuck you because they think that they can.
Yeah, I'm
this
like,
is where you're at. It's like no. I'm actually working hard towards something. I'm not just a fuck puppet. Sorry. Yeah. I don't like the dollar store. Just so the homies know that. So like, don't ever expect that to be me. So yeah. But I mean, I respect the game, but it's just not for me. Yeah. Because I don't want that to be, because like I think that's how the game is played on both ends. Yep. Like a lot of the women who are in those positions. Also, my mom was one of those ladies, so I don't hate. So what do you have 3 books in mind. You have 1 done already. Mm-hmm. Are you waiting for the success, or are you waiting on the success of the first book in order to do the second one, or are you just
started
gonna have?
After you guys told me that since it's in my head I should start so I don't get writer's block, I started the second book.
Okay, I didn't want to ask that, but like, yeah, so you started.
I started the second book. I've only gotten a few lines in because I feel like I kind of put a little bit of pressure on myself, because the writing industry is super hard. Like, so much competition, so many people are gonna judge you because it's such a preference.
Yeah.
That people are like, I've sent my career letter to get critiqued by so many people, and I've been really like put down about it. And so I'm really nervous. And
it's a blunt industry, right?
Yeah, like they'll be like, "Oh, your writing sucks." Like, sorry, I don't think this is like gonna be published. Sorry.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, but then there's other people who are like, "This is incredible. Like, I could see this being a movie." Like, you know what I mean? And so that's why you have to really be nice to yourself and not take things super personally, because it's a preference. Like, not everybody loves the way Stephen King writes, but a lot of people love it, and it's just, you gotta just take everything with a grain of salt. But that's why I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for the second book, because I'm like, okay, I've advanced so much since the first one that I really need it to like be exactly how I want, and be like elevated writing, like different than how the first book was.
Yeah, because like you said, you started the first book when you were 12 and
yeah.
You're 26 now, 25?
I'm 22.
Sorry, Jesus Christ.
That's okay, that's fine.
It's the maturity of my sister that got me, like, you know what I'm saying, I got you at 22, so like you're
as long as I don't look older than I am.
No, it's just the maturity thing.
Yeah.
And also I'm 32, so I think everybody should be at least like 6 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me, 3 years younger than me. So it's just like, it's a weird thing with me. So like with that being, like, you're still so young that the idea of you starting this now and starting the second book now, it's been 10 years. So you have 10 years of experience, you have 10 years of falling in love and falling in distaste with certain characters. And like, you can, and especially with like how the movie genre has went, you can set this book series up to be the next movie series. And like, all right, the first book tells you a story, the second book is going to be the prelude, the third book is going to be this, and it's like, you can fuck with people and like draw people, and not like fuck with people in a bad way, but like fuck with people and like give them bait, like that old man in that fucking Allstate commercial, like, oh, you almost had it, you almost had it. Like, you can do that to people and have people clamoring at your feet for the next big thing. And it can even be like a small script. My best friend Joey, old best friend, sorry, I wouldn't say best friend, we haven't talked in years, but the homie, I love him to death. Joey, he used to read these books called The Watchtower, I think, by Stephen King. No, the Dark Tower series. And I forgot who wrote that, but it's the Dark Tower series. And it was like one book that he had read and the second book that he read. He was waiting on this third book, and the writer had a website where he would just go on there and say, literally, it would just be updated. Book's not coming out today. Because he never wanted to tell you, he would just drop the book. And like, this man dedicated every day. Like, in the morning, his day started with like washing his face, brushing his teeth, and then checking his website.
That's crazy.
So you can do that to people. Like, that's like the type of fanhood that shit builds. So it's like, that's the extremist level of it. Like, where you can have that type of allure for your books. And I don't know what the fuck it is, but I know as a friend that I'm going to push it as if like I read this book 1,000 times already. So
I appreciate
hell yeah, because like, it's the only thing we can do for people. We talked about that type of support. And again, like, I'm wearing her merch, she's wearing my merch. This was a gift. They actually like spent their hard-earned cash on that, and I appreciate you guys. It's things in the works for a while.
Well, I don't even sell these shirts, so that's why it had to be a gift. So,
but I have a capsule coming out. The second season is going to be a capsule that we'll be making ourselves. So you guys are on the list to getting like exclusives for the capsule that you guys.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, super
By the
exciting.
way, once you put that website back on, I've had a few people message me like, yo, like, what's the website for this? And even when we were at the show last night, someone came up to Kyle and was like, yo, I tried to search up the Honor Club Media, but I can't find it. And so Kyle had to like give him your Instagram and everything. I
think the website, I don't know if we'll have to figure that out, because it should be up there.
Okay.
The merch side is down, but that's only down until we'll talk about that.
Okay. Little sidetracked.
You know, little off the camera talk. But so there's going to be a few questions that I ask everybody, that I'm going to ask everybody moving forward on this series. So, what do you want to see for your tomorrow self? No, sorry. What is it that you want tomorrow for yourself that you did not want today, or that you didn't succeed for today, and your today being yesterday?
Being yesterday, like what I didn't do yesterday.
Yeah, like, so to elevate yourself daily.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're all trying to get move steps to get forward, to get towards to. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. What are some steps that you are going to take tomorrow that you feel like you learned about today, or that you could take from today?
I could take from today. That's tough. That's one of those things where I'm like, gosh, I have to sit and think about it. The first thing that comes to mind is I want to wake up early and not wake up at 12 o'clock. Because I struggle with that a lot, where I'll just like stay up real late. I'm a night owl though. Like my great grandma that you saw last night, she stays up till 5 a.m. every night.
Okay, real quick, side talk.
Yeah.
Her great grandmother was at a heavy metal rock concert last night.
My brother's punk show.
And how old is your great grandma?
She's in her 80s.
Turning the fuck up with the biggest smile on her face.
Yeah, we had the mosh pit right next to us. I had to block them from like knocking her down, but she was sitting there loving it.
Oh, it was so great.
Yeah.
So you can see like her and her great grandmother look just alike. It's so crazy. And I don't know what your mom looks like, but I'm guessing mom and grandma.
Yeah, I'll
look
have
the
to
same.
show you what my
yeah,
mom
like
looks
it's a lineage of that face, and it's crazy. So and the energy, I'm guessing too, because great grandmother was there, so she was having a good time. So waking up early is a thing, but it's not the thing. It's what you do when you wake up.
I want to wake up early so I could be that person that like really gets a good start to the day and like gets my mind right. Because once I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm in a rush. Like I need to like do all these things, but then I just end up like sitting in bed for hours or like not doing anything because I'm like, well, I already wasted the day away by waking up at 12 p.m.
I feel
And it really sucks because like my brain wants to be up at night. Like, I want to be awake till fucking 4 a.m. And it's obviously in my fucking bloodline. My great-grandma does it. My mom does it. Literally, it's like, it's in there, ingrained in my DNA. But I want to be that person that gets up at like 5 a.m. to watch the sunrise because I love the way I feel in the morning if I actually get myself up. I love the way the sky looks and everything about waking up early.
Something different about that.
There's something different. Like when you walk out, those birds are chirping and the sky is just now getting light.
It's like dew and mist in the air.
Beautiful.
And we live in the Pacific Northwest,
it's
so it's like
gorgeous.
real nice. Yeah, so I get that.
I want to go run. I mean, I've never been the person to run in the morning, but I want to be that person so bad, but it's like I can't get myself to make those steps. So that's my answer. I want to get myself to wake up tomorrow and be like, okay, I'm going for a run at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just small steps though. So it's like getting up at 8,
yeah.
or getting up at 10 and hitting the treadmill or something, or getting up at 9 and doing some. It's just small things to get to where you gotta go. Progression is better than nothing.
So, sorry, I got a wet my nose because I got allergies.
Like allergies is out here kicking, man. It's nice spring, summertime out here in Oregon.
Yeah.
But I know that she would tell me like, there's a lot of nasty niggas in this industry.
Oh, it's terrible.
A lot of nasty
A lot of
niggas.
women get pimped out. Like, men will go in there specifically to look for girls to...
vulnerable girls that they can actually use, like younger, 18, 19.
There were so many situations where I was like, I'm sorry, like, I may be a stripper, but I'm not about that life. Like, I'm just trying to make enough for rent. Like,
I need rent and weed.
That's
all I need. I don't need to be out here stressed, bro. I got enough. So, you get out of those. So like how, because I know when I was going through the shit that I was going through, I moved out here trying to rehab from knee surgeries, and then also mentally trying to figure out who the hell I was, because I only knew myself as like an athlete and then a drug dealer. So trying to figure out who I was and what I was. And through that time, I was in relationships that were just like faulty for me as a person. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I was going deeper into a void. I didn't know why I was angry and yelling out. And then I would go drink. And this is before I started smoking like weed heavy.
Yeah.
I moved out here and that's when it turned up. So
And you moved out here from Chicago?
Yeah. So I had like military PTSD from the neighborhoods growing up, and like a lot of just stress from there. So I didn't know any of that stuff until I got to a very older stage in my life. I think like 26, 27, like right around the time my child was born. I started to get therapy. So I learned a lot about why I did the things I did, but in the times I didn't know, and I would blame the other person. So like, how did you, with the stress that you had, like how were you able to, like what did you utilize to not go into like the worst place of depression?
Yeah.
And not like, I wouldn't say take the easy way out, because I don't ever want to talk about suicide, because that sucks. But like, to get to a point where it was like, I know I got to a point where I didn't get out the bed and I didn't shower for days because I was that depressed. It was like, I don't care to shower. I don't care to be around people. So obviously these two things going, like, that's how my mind was thinking. So like, what was that for you? Like, what did you hold on to? What did you look forward to keep you out of that?
It's tough to say, because I did go through such a long period of time where I couldn't get out of bed, and really the only reason why I did get out of bed was to go and work at night and then go straight back home and just drink and stay in my room, isolating from the world. And I used a lot of different like outlets to like be very self-destructive, and that was kind of my way of like saying fuck you to myself and fuck you to the world and everything that I went through. But I would say I'm a really resilient person. Like, from all the stuff that I went through, I always knew that, like, no matter what, I could not get so, like, I had to be there for my little brother, and I had to be there, like, if anything happened to my mom, I had to be there for, like, and both my little brothers. And so I needed to keep myself to, at least to a point where I'm not gonna, like, lose a place to live again. I'm not gonna, like, get into drugs. I'm not gonna, like, you know, kill myself from not taking care of myself. Yeah.
Had to get to a bearable spot.
Yeah, and I still struggle, like, now with, I'm just now, like, trying to make friends. Like trying to do things to, like, have a healthy, like, social life and not get, like, not allow myself to isolate, because I still struggle with, like, getting up and taking a shower or eating or like taking care of things. So it's like it's a constant battle, but I know, like, I know everything happens for a reason, and so that's why I don't let things like tear me down so unbearably that like I give up completely. That's like my one thing in life that I believe in more than anything, is everything happens for a reason. Like, even if it's the most horrific thing, because things suck and don't make any fucking sense, that you'll get to a certain point in life where you're like, okay, now I understand why certain things had to happen. Yeah. Because it made me who I am, and it made, like, certain things, like the butterfly effect, it made certain things happen that needed to happen. Yeah,
and you grow from those things too. Like exactly. You said, you're resilient, but like not only are you resilient, but like you're durable to the bullshit of the world. You fail 1,000 times, so like the world can't push you, and you can't fall a different way to where you're going to be stuck. Like you've worked to that point. And I would like to give you flowers and make you like understand from me and my wife's point of view. Like, we just met you like a couple months ago, but from what we've seen, like, my wife talks about you as if you're like one of her like strongest friends. She's like, oh, that's the homie, bro. Like,
that makes me so happy.
Because on the way over here, I was like, bro, should I, like, how do I, because what I want to do is like be able to tap into conversations where we have open, vulnerable conversations about like sexual assault or mental abuse, physical abuse that happens in relationships, like the people that people right now call memes and they laugh about because it's funny to be toxic. Like, we've actually lived and been through. Like, I've been through a toxic relationship where a girl stabbed the tires.
Oh my gosh.
Stabbed my, like, the only things that I had, she broke and tore apart and then called the cops on me. So,
oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if it wasn't for her parents being there being like, sorry, officer, our daughter's a sicko. So this boy has done nothing wrong.
Oh, that's good.
So like, it's not like, thank God for them, but like I've been in like the worst type of like spots. So I think for us, we see you and Kyle, and we're like, they are going to be like friends that we have to like keep around. Like, when we move up to Salem, when we buy our house, like, we got to make sure that we always get them to like come up for something or always go down. So
We feel the same way about you guys.
yes, like she truly sees you as like a dope ass friend, and I think that I'm not saying it's like my wife is the end all be all, but how she views people is, for me, it's very dope because she's so sheltered
Yeah.
in her own sense and own words, like not in a bad way, but she's sheltered. Like she likes things a certain way, and she doesn't invite people in who's not worthy. With me, I'm a social butterfly. Sometimes I try to be on purpose. I'm like, hey, we can all be friends. I use the friend word way too much. She's like, no, that's just a person.
Yeah. Like, that's an
Understand
acquaintance.
Acquaintance,
Relax.
friends, like it's two different things. Like, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
my friends hurt my feelings. She's like, because they're acquaintances. Like,
Yeah.
get it through your head. So like, I'm still that vulnerable child at times. But for her, she's like, oh, like our friends Cal and Jazz. Like,
Oh,
what she
that
talks
makes
about,
me
she got
so
it.
happy.
So yeah, like I think you are more than, I think you see yourself, and I know that you probably see yourself as being elevated from where you have been, and you still feel like there's a gap where you need to work, but understand that gap is smaller than what you think.
Yeah.
You're a dope ass person, and you've came through enough, and we've sat and talked about shit from women's rights and actual baby talk, or
Yeah.
you know, how we don't like certain people because of certain things. Like, oh, so that's how you live your life too? Cool, high five, we must be best friends. Like type of conversations, because
Yeah.
like it's those are the, I think those are the real things that people need to pattern with friendships off of. Like asking random questions like, if you could go back in time to see anybody perform live, who would it be? Like those are conversations.
I love
still don't know?
questions like that. Okay, yeah, okay. So
Because I asked her this earlier, like off camera, and I want to know. I'm like, nigga, have you still not figured out? Wow.
eat your local honey.
Yeah, I got that. Because I know mine's about to start kicking in, so I'm starting to get the itches everywhere. I'm like, all right, man, here we go. That's really good for me. I hate it. Second question is, if you could have a one-day event to talk to your 13-year-old self, what would you tell her? Like, if you could tell her one thing, what would you tell her?
I would tell her not to take things so seriously. Like, not to let things bring her down, and just to be in the moment for every moment. Like, not to look forward to the future as much. Just be in the moment. Because when I was a kid, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to grow up so bad. I wanted to just get away from school, get away from my mom, and just, like, do my own thing. But I wish that I would have been more present with my like family before like everything fell apart. Like I wish that I would have spent more time with my little brothers before we were all separated.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have just really appreciated those moments where like we were all together as a family more, instead of trying to get away from it all and like be grown up at 13 years old.
Yeah, because that's pointless, bro. I'm trying to tell my daughter that right now, because like she's like, oh, well, when I'm a grown up, I can do this. I'm like, bro, you gotta pay taxes when you get older, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna hate it, and you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss
want to be
these
a
times.
baby all over again. You don't want to be 13 again. So yeah, I get it, and that's the one thing I would tell myself too, is like try to live in the present as much as you can, bro, because there's a lot of things and a lot of times that I was thinking of either what was behind me or what could be in front of me, when what was right in front of me at that point in time was the greatest of all time.
Yep.
And now those are the things I think about. And like as I'm getting older, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? If I could go back and do one thing, I would.
Yeah.
And it's never buying things, it's never, going on trips. It's like I would want to spend time with those moments all over again. I would want to relive certain moments. So like I definitely get that. And then what do you see as the one thing, if you could walk out of your house, if you could walk out of your house and have a theme song to your dad?
Oh my
when
gosh.
you're on your shit, when you own your queen shit, what is that song? Like, what is that walk out the house, stiletto pumps in the club, bitches can't fuck me, my vibe is 1,000 right now. Like, what is that?
Shit. It really, so I have a weird thing where my music taste changes based on how I'm feeling, but I think right now the song that I would want to like walk out and it'd be my theme song would be Human by I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's Sevdaliza. She's from the Middle East, but her music is like absolutely incredible. Okay. And the song Human is like so empowering for not just women, but like people with like insecurities or who have been like controlled by other people in their life. That song is just like so empowering. So like you will be like, I'm that bitch. Like when you listen to that song.
Oh, yeah. So we have to throw that in at some point. We have to play that.
That's a good one.
What is your go-to drink of choice?
Like for alcohol, just any drink.
Drink.
Tea.
What do you think of when you think of drink? Your go-to drink of choice is tea?
I can drink tea every day. That's like, I believe in herbal medicine, and I think that before you take ibuprofen, before you take like a cough drop, anything like that, drink some tea.
Okay.
Like tea, depending on what tea it is, there's a tea for any ailment. Like, that's why I make tea. You know, I make tea too.
She knows what you're talking about. So I'm gonna put you in the spot right now because you have both. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Yeah?
Yeah. But animals in general.
I'm telling Rue that right now. I'm telling
you. Rue's more a cat than my cats are, though, to be honest with you.
The way she talks to me all the time saying her name. Rue's a Pokemon more than a cat or a dog. Don't get it twisted.
She says her own name.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
That was pretty easy. So, what is your favorite dish? Dinner dish? Because I've seen a lot of your posts recently.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
I love anything pasta. I love pasta.
Okay.
And actually, I did an ancestry, and I have like 5-10% of
Italian?
Greek and Italian. Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. So, with you being the sorcerer of our friendships of everyone here, what is one potion that you would make for me?
One potion that I would make for you?
Yeah, like whether it be tea or a candle, like what type of candle do you think I should have for whatever moment?
Well, honestly, I think this candle, like the way that you connected with it instantly, we're like, oh yeah, we gotta light this. I would definitely say, didn't I give you that candle too? Or did you get the wellness candle?
We got the wellness candle.
All right, I'm gonna make one of these candles for you because the way that you connected it with it, that's for sure what I would give you.
Nice, yeah, it was dope, bro. Cause like clarity is something that like I know for sure we all need that sense of like aha or that sense of like release whenever we're going through the things that we're going through or living just in general. But I'm like